within the same party, you realize that there is no that unity, and hence politicians could not be able to move forward. But again, even at the time of June 12, even though it has been declared as a democracy day, when you look at Abiola at the time and even his attitude, they tend not to cohabit with the tenet of democracy.
Yeah, because he was desperate for power. He was desperate for power. He just wanted to be president of Nigeria. No, really, there's something that happened within that time. Even me, within that time, because I could not identify myself with the Abiola's, what do you call it, leadership, because what has happened that time was that even when we were in the National Assembly, there was a kind of tribal division.
Okay.
Because
even before he became the president.
when we were in the National Assembly, if we want to deliberate, because I am from the NRC, and we were the minority that time. So, you know, there's a lot of sentiment going on, because sometimes people will even come and say, the SDP is, because the SDP is Yoruba's party.
Even though Abiola got the bulk of his vote from the north.
You see, what do you call it? Our candidate, our NRC presidential candidate was from Kano.
You
understand me? And Abiola defeated him in Kano. You understand me? I was jokingly speaking with Konkoso then when we were in the house. I said, we are going to defeat you this time around in Kano. He said, your presidential candidate, we vote in the same polling unit. But I will assure you, by the time I go to Kano blowing my sirens, you will hear the result that I am going to defeat your presidential candidate.
You know, Bashir Tofa was the presidential candidate of the NRC then.
Yes, yes.
And Abiola was of the SDP.
Yes.
And Abiola had more than 50% of his vote from the north alone.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I can still recall, in virtually every state of northern Nigeria, Abiola had won his election there.
No, sir. I stand to correct you, sir. The whole result of the country was not released. The whole result of the country were not released. I believe it was 15 states.
Yeah.
So even if I could stand and say, you understand me, so the result was not fully collected, that how can you declare somebody a winner?
You can't declare someone as a winner. Now, okay, having discussed this background, from 1999 to now, it has been another run of democratic governance.
Yes.
First, it started with Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who spent 8 years, and then Yar'Adua came, even though he was short-lived, and Jonathan came to complete that administration. And of course, since then, we've also had uninterrupted democratic system. Changing of button from one government to another has been so successful, which was a difficult thing in the past. Can we say that Nigeria's democracy have come of age?
We thank God, I can say it has come of age, but the democratic system in Nigeria, and I just, with due respect to everybody, politicians are taking Nigerians for granted. Definitely, this number of years we've been in governance, you understand me? There is a lot of loopholes here and there. Because the way government is run in this country, it is more or less like a personalized something instead of government of the people. There are a lot of decisions taken without consent of the people. What I expected, if there is a program or a project going to be embarked on, I think people should have the idea that is the legislators, the National Assembly members, should go back to their constituencies and consult with the people. This is what is coming up. What is your take there? What is your input? Because you'll find that there are a lot of projects that is not people's-oriented. You could go on there. Like people now in Galadima, Kogo or Manta, do you go there now to say you are sinking a borehole or a skills acquisition center to them? It is not their problem. Their problem is farming. They need security. You need to make sure that you provide them with fertilizers and all this, farm inputs. But whereby you take this borehole, solar, this, well, if people are being chased out of those communities, then the borehole becomes what? So you need people. So that is why sometimes you find that if a decision is going to give that, in the countries, the democratic countries of the world, a lot of times when a bill is going to be considered or in the House or this, they run back or they phone to say, okay, this is what is going to happen. What do you see? So, I mean, the assembly is doing great, but I think they should do more in terms of getting people involved in the decision of the National Assembly.
Okay, one of the major key components of democracy has always been political parties and then even politicians themselves.
Yeah.
And then the electoral umpire, which is the INEC in the case of Nigeria. Yeah. And let's begin to look at some of these indices. First, the political parties. Yeah. Have the political parties been so structured to actually conform to true democratic system, or they are just simply platforms for politicians to just write on?
For now, and that is why like I said, still up to now that we have an interrupted democratic system in our country. But if you look at it, still we are following the military agenda, even in the political setup. This is what they get, and that is why I like what is happening now in the from the Tinubu's government, that let's have a true
federalism?
No, not a federalism. Let's have a true constitutional amendment.
Okay.
So that let them allow people to come in, public hearings, and then let them consider people's views in the amendment, not their own view. And there's some what do you call it? These manifestos of the parties supposed to be rewritten, because if you look at it, those times the politicians were in a hurry to get the military out of the way, and that is why we sat down, or people sat down and came up with a lot of write-ups that they would just make and beat up the time and make sure that the military are gone. So if we really want to have a true democracy the way it should be, so we will have that courage to sit down regardless of ethnicity or religion, to come up with a true agenda. If you look at it, what is really killing us in our system is that people are over-ambitious to become this or that. You understand me? Without mindful of what am I getting into? What is it that has happened in the past? Then what do I expect to do in the future? So that is what we're lacking.
Now, the political parties that usually bring people onto the platform has remained weak. Yeah. And usually, even if it is a ruling party, sometimes internal democracy and how the party looks like is also a reflection of what the government will look like. How true is this?
Yes, it's true. Because if you look at it, like I said, the fundamental area of a true democracy is the grassroots. That is, many people ignore the power of local government council. Like for instance, now you can tell in the northern parts of the country, when you ask a professor or a doctor like you to become a councillor, you think that it's belittling. But it is from that, it's from that grassroots you could be able to bring out or have a true blueprint of what you want to take in Nigeria to, because councils are direct, and they have direct impact to people, and therefore you look at, you see when people comes and parties, you have your money, when the parties, look at an individual instead of what is it that individual can do. You understand? Do you understand what I mean, Doctor?
Yes.
So you find that everybody just comes. Somebody didn't even have idea of politics, but all he has money. He will come and run for a political office, and at the end of the day, he fumbles. And if you look at it again, the constant changing of our legislators. You look at in the developed world, like United States politics, for instance. You find that I remember the brother to Ted Kennedy was in the Senate since 1969 till he
John
died.
Kennedy.
I mean, no, Ted Kennedy.
Okay, Ted Kennedy.
Yeah, that is
the brother of
John Kennedy. So you see, to train a legislator is not an easy thing, but constant changing, because we need continuity in the legislative system, because by the time a new person comes, he doesn't know where you have stayed, and you don't know how far you have gone. Then when you come now, you now begin a new learner.
You will have to
of
start
the system,
learning
the system again. So we have a problem there, and that is why today we begin to get all sort of laws, all sort of bills passed, and nothing is happening.
Now, when you look at the National Assembly as it is now, it is gradually becoming a retiring home for most governors and some older politicians.
Yes.
And gradually they are also becoming cabals, holding the country to ransom, especially when it comes to issues of budgetary spendings. Most of times, there was a time when even the then former CBN governor, Sanusi Lamide Sanusi, accused the National Assembly of gulping about 25% of the national budget. When you look at our own democracy and the nature of the National Assembly we're having today, and the executive, where the legislators are holding the executive to ransom, especially in terms of approval of certain things, to what extent can this help our democracy or retard it?
Well, the problem here is that most of the National Assembly members, I'm sorry, with due respect to anybody, majority of them are selected. They are not actual people's choice. They are appointed. So therefore, the executive appoints them to go and do what they want them to do. Look at what is happening even in the National Assembly. Who stood to oppose Tinubu's bid? Nobody. And when what is his name, Senator Ningi tried to expose certain deals, and what happened to him? They all said they suspended him. Exactly. And what did the Nigerians say? Nigerians kept quiet. We all kept quiet.
In more Senate climes, this will have called for
that is it. So as a matter, the public will have to help the National Assembly. Anybody who comes to do the right thing. Okay, what about that Jigawa man, what is his name? Gudaji Kazauri, when he was trying to say the truth about what is happening in the governance. What happened to him today? They didn't allow him to come back. So then how would the public come now and be saying democracy is not working? People should participate in the system. You don't have to be in the National Assembly before you can make things work. Like the media, the general public, even a farmer can contribute. Look at today what is happening to what do you call it? Biden's son. Joe Biden. Look at what is happening in America. They don't look at that he's the son of the president. You understand me?
He was tried
and prosecuted. He might probably go to jail.
Exactly.
You understand me? And the father did not interrupt the system. But here is that when EFCC come looking for somebody, and then today the government will say, they should go and look for him. But behind closed door, they will say, leave him. What happened to Yahya Bello? Where is he now? I think the what do you call it? The EFCC chairman, swore that he must arrest him or resign. Okay, did you hear anything about that again? Is he resigning?
He's not resigning.
Has he arrested him?
He has not.
So that is why everybody takes him for granted. But if the people should hold their members responsible, instead of going to their houses and begging, if a member comes and this is what he said he's going to do, and he didn't do it, challenge him. Ask him, we voted you that if you are going to do this, you are going to do that. Why are you not doing it? So if people will begin to know they are the true Democrats, those people in the nationalism are their servants. So probably things might change.
Definitely things might change. This is Nigeria Today on Procedure FM Mina. You can join us on this discussion through the number 09038808883. You can equally visit our Facebook page on Procedure FM Mina to send in your text message. You can view us live on our YouTube page on Prestigefm91.7mx. The topic this morning is about June 12th, the Democracy Day, so declared in Nigeria, and it is a public holiday as well. We are looking at matters arising as well as some of the challenges that have faced Nigeria in the course of this democratic system. We've had 25 years of uninterrupted democracy. It is about the longest in our history, and we are looking at the other issues that may have come up in the course of this democratic system, and that is why I said matters arising. Now we've talked about the Nigerian party system, we've talked about the legislators themselves. Now we need to also look at the electoral umpire, which is the INEC. Over the years, we've seen the Independent National Electoral Commission conducting elections in Nigeria. At the initial stage, it was smooth, 1999, 2003, and then suddenly Nigeria began to fumble and wobble through our election process. So much so that international observers and even local observers have simply dismissed Nigeria's democratic system as a scam. Do you think there has been an improvement now?
No. Dr. Dantala, do you to your own conscience, do we really have an independent National Electoral Commission? It is just an appointees. The highest better get what he wants. So they just sit down, they bring somebody from the university and this and let him become, because he's a professor, you understand me? You just appoint him as the national chairman of the visit. So if you look at it, during that June 12th issue, during that 1991-92 election, option A4, two-party system, be you where you come from, you have to align with one party, and that has controlled the issue of regional and tribal politics, because it is two-party system. Whether Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, Igbo, you have to align yourself with one party. But look at what is happening today. Whether you like it now, they view Labour Party as Igbo Party. And then you look at it now. So that's what is happening. PDP now, they have made it as what do you call it? Northern Party, and what is called ACN has become Yoruba Party. So this issue, let's sit down. Too many parties is not good for our system. And then when people are saying that the single time, 2 times, 3 times of leadership, that is when it is now, I believe, they say
there's a bill now.
There's a bill,
6 years
single time. If a bill could be enacted today, 6-year term. Who gets to do that? The National Assembly. Then if maybe after somebody is there for 6 years, you get that National Assembly again to amend the Constitution for them. Look at what happened to what do you call it, Alassane Ouattara. You know, I know during Roland Gbagbo, I mean, there was a chaos that time. They said no, he couldn't change the Constitution. But what happened now? Alassane Ouattara came and changed the Constitution. This is what happened. It is about individuals.
Macky Sall nearly did that in Senegal.
You see individuals. Okay, he nearly did that in Senegal. And Senegalese said no.
Exactly. They stood resolutely and said no.
That is it. So that is the same thing that is going to happen. There's nothing wrong with our system. Our system is the best system. But Do people follow it? People
Maybe
don't
there need to be some kind of orientation.
That is it. But if we agree that definitely we are going to share, and that is why I am saying if we should have I'm of the opinion that definitely Babangida has tried to bring those two political party systems. I think if you go back to it, it will control a lot of things, and then we'll begin to see dividend of democracy, because people are going to align instead of become
balkanized
or become individualistic. So they will know that they belong to a platform. And like you say about the electoral umpire, who is the electoral umpire? Nwosu was then the national chairman. If he knew Abiola would have won the election, regardless of what the militaries have said to him, he would declare Abiola as the president. But did he do that?
He didn't.
Because he was appointed by somebody. So like I'm saying, INEC is an dependent body instead of independent.
Now, if INEC is supposed to be independent, who should appoint, or how should the leadership of INEC emerge?
Yeah, I think we should go through we should have a democratic institute that whereby they should create a kind of institute that will look and that will be saddled with that responsibility of appointing an electoral empire instead of
the government of
the day.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Tanko Yusuf JB, himself a one-time National Assembly member in the House of Representatives, Federal House of Representatives, and a stakeholder in the All Progressive Congress. You can join us through the number 09038808883. We are discussing democracy, the June 12th, which is Nigeria's Democracy Day, and the matters arising from that. Okay, we have the first caller. Hello, good morning.
Dr. Dantala, good morning. My name is Ambassador Gebu the Challenger. I'm calling you from Tudun Fulani. Happy Democracy Day. But are we really practicing democracy in Nigeria? Democracy is for the people, by the people, for the people. But our politicians in Nigeria are taking Nigerians for granted. There are a lot of things that are going on that we Nigerians, we don't really step up and challenge these our leaders that we elect into office. If you take a look at it, there are some things that our leaders are doing that is not passing through the National Assembly. Like this Calabar-Lagos highway, they approved a huge amount of money, I think 7 trillion, without passing through the National Assembly. Is it a good thing? If you take a look at the issue of Ningi and Kazaure, up till now, we didn't hear anything, and we, the electorate, refuse to step up and voice it out and do the needful. Look at the issue of Ganduje. Look at the issue of so many politicians. Look at what they are doing. Look at the issue of White Lion. Up till now, did you hear anything? The issue of Edu, did you hear anything up till now? So these are the things that we are talking about. It's high time we, the electorate, should step up and do the needful. Because our leaders are not doing something good to help us. And my last word is this. As we celebrate this Happy Democracy Day, I pray for our leaders.
Okay, thank you so much, Debu the Challenger. And he highlighted on one issue, which is the issue of role of the two arms of government, the executive and the legislators, in terms of running the government. Do you think over the years we've been able to have a smooth relationship between the executive and the legislators? Looking at from Obasanjo's era, when speakers and Senate presidents were changed at will, and then to this period when that office became much more stable.
Dr. Antala, the way we're supposed to have 3 tiers of government. That is the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Is that correct?
Exactly.
But the way you look at it now, most of what is happening in the system is that the government of the day will try as much as possible to get majority in the National Assembly. And when, by so doing, whatever the president or the governor need at that time is what he gets. Because, like I said in my earlier discussion, that most of these members are selected or appointed. I'm sorry, I mean, there's a lot of times, even if you go to the National Assembly, you find that some of the members don't even know why they're there. They don't know what to do. It is just yes, sir, without knowing what the bill is. So, as far as Obasanjo was getting what he wants because he told Nigerians that he gave them Ghana must go. So they are working on his Ghana must go. And anybody who refuses to do what he wants, he exposed them.
Exactly.
You find them, they say they are the people stealing Nigerians' money. Is that correct? So, look, we should, just like what the last caller said, he said it is high time for the public to partake in the true democracy of this country, the democratic selection of this country, and people should stand by it. So, Dr. Dantala, I am telling you, as far as I'm concerned, National Assembly belongs to the leadership of the country.
Okay, let's go to the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Dantala.
Morning, sir.
My name is Umar Manta.
Okay, Umar Manta, go ahead.
Honestly, happy Democracy Day.
Thank you so much.
Okay. The bosses in National Assembly, they must step and do the right thing because all eyes are on them now. They amend the constitution, they conquer, they control, they do everything. So if they must practice democracy in Nigeria, they must be in forefront to do that. In terms of corruption, they are number one in terms of corruption because when anything is going to be sent to them, they must show that things must go in their own way. So they must step up and do the things right so that if corruption go low in Nigeria is a House of Assembly. So this is my word. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Umar Manta. Okay, Honorable Tanko Yusuf, JB, Nigeria's democracy appears to be one of the most expensive democratic structure that we ever had. The executives, the bicameral legislators, and so many other retinue of structures that have to go with our own democracy. Do you think there is a need to stream down this structure, especially in terms of executive spendings and then legislative spendings, which is already telling on the Nigeria's economic well-being?
To streamline or not, the problem is that the budgetary allocation to any sector, is it reflected in the system? Like a legislator have the right to employ certain aides. And those monies are voted for, for the appointment of those aides. But do they do that? So some of them, they don't appoint anybody, but they accumulate the money. So this spending, the spending supposed to have gotten to people. But instead of getting that money to people, they keep it to themselves. So it is not about the budgetary allocation to streamline or not streamlining. What is there is that the budget allocated for, people should begin to look at it. People should begin to know. The public need to know that those monies that are appropriated for or they are allocated for are meant for those projects.
You mean the public is not probing enough?
It's not.
People just appear to be sitting
That
back.
is it. Okay. Constituency project. I believe as a legislator, your own is to go and supervise, but not to partake in the execution of that project. But if you look at it, when that allocation is made, he controls that. Budgetary allocation in his office. Some will not even execute the job.
Okay, let me ask you one thing. The legislative arm is said to be too bogus.
Yes.
Are you in line with those who are advocating that we should have one legislative arm? Maybe the Senate or just the House of Representatives?
No, I don't agree with that. The two houses, if we are going through this presidential system of government, we cannot operate on single house, because the two houses checkmate on each other.
Okay.
You understand me? Because if you allow Senate, it is only what they want to do, because if they like to do a project or they want to do something, they will just go ahead and do it on their own.
But even now they still have their
No.
way, despite the
we have what we call a joint session in the National Assembly, and they can disagree on that issue. And I disagree because and I will assure you that we have to remain and work hard. The public will have to participate and make the democracy work, regardless of what system we bring. If people are not interested, and people are not participating in the aspect of it, it is not gonna work, because it is people who are to make that system work. It is not the system that would make itself work. So if we choose, we Nigerians want our system to work, so it would really work. So as far as I'm concerned, the budgetary in the National Assembly, it is not much. It is not much as such that people think about. But is it what I'm saying? Are they using the allocation as it is appropriated for?
Oh, okay.
That is our problem.
Okay, thank you so much. Jafar Ibrahim Bendiga is saying good morning. I greet you especially this beautiful morning of June 12th. Happy Democracy Day. I pray may the day bring a lot of positive things to us, and positive changes, transformation, progresses, and a lot of achievement in our dear nation. I pray for God's guidance and protection towards us, and protection towards all the bad evils that will come between us. He is optimistic that we will succeed in our endeavors. Thank you for your patience. Jafar Ibrahim Bendiga, thank you so much for this message. And Ahmed Ya Usa'a is also saying good morning to you all. I wish all Nigerians all the best on this day of June 12th. We have another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
You are doing a very nice job. My name is Abdullah Dax.
Okay, go ahead, Madam Abdullah.
Yeah, you see, I think Nigeria should sit down and define what is democracy. Democracy. You see, democracy is for all. It's not for an individual. The way I see to the Nigerian system of government is it is a government that can be bought by anybody and take it as its own personal property. You can't imagine a citizen of this country with the abundant resources that we have in this country, that people will not have a smile on their faces. There is no Nigerian today as a man have a smile on his face because of the hardship he is facing in this country. And nobody is saying anything. The leaders are not saying anything. The roads are not good. Our hospitals are bad. Our education system is falling. Our senior citizens are dying. And nobody is saying something. So Nigerians should wake up and fight for their own rights. You can see the way the other countries are doing. When the government is doing wrong, the people rise up and say no. And if it is a good government, it has to go by their own wish. What is democracy? Is it democracy in Nigeria we are doing, or democracy said by Fela? This is democracy, not democracy. The weight of this country, at least 80% of the weight of this country is going to the House of Assembly, the Senate, and the executives of this country, not the masses. It is only 20% that is going to the masses. What are we talking about? The Nigerians is rise up. These people are trying to kill us. They are not for us. Most of them have run out of this country going to the Holy Land. They thought that God is not watching them. You can't keep your people in a bad condition and live country and say you are going to serve God. God is not an asylum to anybody.
Exactly.
Now to raise up. I'm a senior citizen. I'm now at home. I cannot sleep. My family are crying. All people are crying. There's no food, there's nothing. And they say that they are giving 25 billion naira. 25 billion naira, is it a joke? It is a money that you can use it within 2 days and clear up to these people. See, Salah is coming. There is nothing, the civil servants are coming. And you look at the kind of situation we are facing in this country. They don't want to kill us. So it is fair for the citizen. The way the citizens are suffered during Buhari, and they come now and they are even voting for the same party. So it is their own fault. So they should know their right. If a government is not good, you have to change to a positive way that you can enjoy it. You cannot continue to stand on a government that is killing you, is suffering you. You said the past government were thieves. Okay, they stole money. If PDP stole money, people enjoying it. They stole money and give us and we eat. And somebody will say that there is no money and you are stealing the money and you are not giving people are suffering and you say you are your government.
Okay, thank you so much. I think it's a bit emotional and seem to have gone completely out of what we are discussing. Finally, our time is fast spent. Honorable Tanko Yusuf JB, what is your call now on fellow Democrats and Nigerians on this day of June 12th?
We need to thank God, to thank Allah for allowing us to see this day. My call on us Democrats is that we should be united and be just in whatever we do. We should remember it's an oath that we took that we are going to do justice. And if we don't do that, definitely one day we'll be in our graves and you'll be us. This thing you see, this money you see allocated, whatever it is meant for the people and you're going to account for it.
Definitely. Accountability is the watchword for every public office holder. It's an opportunity for you to serve the people and to put your foot on the sand of history so that posterity will be kind to you. June 12th, of course, is a Democracy Day in Nigeria, and it has been a very robust discussion with a stakeholder of the All Progressive Congress and a former member, Federal House of Representatives, representing Boso Federal Constituency. Yeah. Honorable Tanko Yusuf JB, you are becoming a regular guest here.
Oh, thank you. I love the radio house because you are buoyant and you are, you in some way I say that you're bold enough to come and discuss whatever discussion that will make positive change in our system.
Exactly.
So more grace to your elbow. And then I still want to thank the management for bringing me in, and thank the management for having Dr. Antara on this program.
Thank you so much,
yes.
Honorable Tanko Yusuf JB. Sanukura, we appreciate your messages. Thank you so much. And listeners, this is where we come to the end of the program. We hope you have been informed, you have been educated. Memuna Muhammad Babangida has been a co-anchor in this program, and of course, Ahmed Issa Sakbi has been the DC on duty. Stephen Jia brought us live on our Facebook page, and my name is Mohammed Dantila Ali.
See, there's good news. Bank of Industry BOI has now made everything easy.
How do you mean?
Remember Rapid? Rural Area Program on Investment for